What's up guys, T-Mart here, and today was a huge day for Call of Duty fans. Today was the official reveal for Call of Duty World War II and Nazi zombies. And let me tell you guys, this looks absolutely insane. Like, everything we've seen about this mode so far looks really, really good. I can't wait. It looks like that same old, like, Nazi zombies that we know and love, but it's got that crazy, horrific, dark, scary, gory twist to it that Sledgehammer Games has put on. I mean, look at some of these new screenshots that we got today. It looks absolutely insane. So in this video, we are going to be going through everything new that we've learned about this mode based off of today's activities. And first and foremost, we got the trailer. Now, yes, I know a lot of you guys, like myself, have probably already seen the trailer based off the leak that happened earlier this week. It was really unfortunate that happened, and it actually turns out that the trailer they released today is a little bit different from the one we saw earlier in the leak. It's, not a lot different. I'd say like 95% is the same, but there are a couple of little differences. Really, the biggest thing is it's so much better to watch that trailer in full HD quality, both audio and video, not having all sorts of watermarks and stuff on it. And even though I'd already seen it, it still really grabbed my attention and took me for a ride. So I'm going to play through the trailer right here. If you guys haven't seen it yet, feel free to watch. If you have, I'll put a timestamp on screen where you can skip to so we can get back to talking about it.
I have seen a vision of our Führer's future. The death of the old world and the birth of the new. Can you hear it? Drums. The drums of war. The march of progress. I have built more than just a new kind of soldier. I have created the devil himself.
Like, are you kidding me? This looks absolutely insane. This is the most hardcore zombies experience we've ever seen by a long shot. I mean, obviously there's kind of a thrilling, suspenseful, theme to any zombies map, but this basement down here looks like it's out of a Saw movie. Look at all the blood and the gore and the... Oh man, it's nuts. And I'm excited because it's a new take. It's something we haven't seen before on an old mode that we know and love. Like, who doesn't like zombies? This is a completely new way to experience the zombies that we already know. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm hoping it works out. And let's talk about everything new that we learned from the Comic-Con panel today. So basically, Comic-Con is going on this weekend, and today we had an hour-long zombies panel where the devs and some of the cast were talking about new features and answering questions from fans and stuff like that, and kind of giving us a first look into this new mode. And unfortunately, the panel was not live streamed anywhere. The only way you could know what was happening in there is if you were at the panel itself. But luckily, there were some news sites like Charlie Intel who gathered up all of that information and tweeted it out and made it available to the rest of the public. So credit to them. I'm going to link them down in the description. Let's talk about what's going on. So obviously, there's going to be a huge storyline to this. Like, every character individually has their own storyline, their own motives and stuff like that, and then also as a group, they have their own storyline, and that's going to kind of evolve throughout the story as we get DLC and stuff like that. But the base story of why these four characters are together is because they're monument men. They were men and women risking their lives to save works of art. Kind of crazy, right? Well, it turns out that this is actually a real thing. This is historically accurate. So there were these monument men, these Allied soldiers, who were tasked with going deep into Nazi territory, sneaking around and finding out where these stolen pieces of art were and recovering them. There were paintings, there were sculptures, there were all kinds of things from these huge artists like Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Vermeer, and others, and they were priceless. I mean, these were, artifacts of history that the Nazis had stolen, and they wanted to get them back. Well, why were the Nazis stealing art? It turns out, and I didn't know this, it turns out that Hitler was actually an art student back in the day, and he was really, really into art, and he had this grandiose plan to open up the Führer Museum after he won the war. And I think that's kind of funny. Like, we're talking about the same guy who was interested in genocide and completely wiping groups of people from the earth, but in his spare time, he was super intellectual and had a nice taste for fine art. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of funny. But yeah, so he was planning to open up this museum, and he was stealing all of our precious artworks to be able to display in that museum after the war was over. Now, obviously, this plan never came to fruition. The museum was never built. He ended up losing the war and killing himself, but he had still stolen all that art. So that's what these monument men were doing, and they were going in to try to steal it back. And in the context of this game, obviously, when they're deep in this, Nazi territory and, running around and being spies and stuff like that, they come across something that they weren't expecting. And that something is Hitler creating this massive undead army led by Dr. Peter Gluckspringer Straub. Obviously, I butchered that. Dr. Peter G, I guess we can go with. But this is one of the main cast. This is the bad guy, and he's a brilliant doctor who rose through the Nazi ranks due to his merciless dedication to making the German army an unstoppable power. And we saw a little bit of him in the trailer that I showed you guys earlier. He's the one that is responsible for everything that's going on. He's one of Hitler's right-hand men, and he's making this army of undead, and obviously, he could end up being some sort of boss in the mode or something like that. I'm not sure, but he's the bad guy that we have to watch out for. Now, as for the other 4 characters that we can actually play as, the heroes in the game, we've got David Tennant playing Drosten Hind. We've got Elodie Young playing Olivia Durant. We've got Catherine Winnick playing Mary Fisher. And then we've got Ving Rhames playing Jefferson Potts. And every single one of these characters has a special, unique backstory. It gets pretty elaborate. We don't really know all the details yet. I'm sure those will come in the future. But every one of them is very unique in their personalities as well as their backstories. And it should be interesting to see how they interact with each other. Like, I don't know if there's going to be some humor or what. Because, think about being in a group looking for art pieces and coming across a horde of undead. I can't even imagine. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that pans out. But that's the general backstory and idea behind the story for this mode, which I think sounds pretty interesting. We'll have to wait till we see more. Now, moving on, we did get a few other pieces of information from this panel today. They did a short little Q&A session towards the end where they let fans in the audience ask them questions. And although, obviously they can't say much at this point in time, they did confirm a few things. So, number 1, perks and mystery boxes are going to be returning to this mode, so that's pretty exciting. I can't imagine a zombies game without those. Also, Wunderwaffe weapons are going to be returning as well, so that's kind of cool. I wasn't really expecting that. I always kind of considered that more of like a Treyarch thing, but that's pretty good. Next up, you can build objects. They didn't really get into specifics on that, so I don't know if we're talking about traps. I don't know if we're talking about objects that help you progress through the map, and obviously we've seen tons of different things over the course of zombies over the years, but that's kind of interesting. Also, there's a brand new reward system. Now, I'm not sure what they mean by that. A reward system could be anything. Are you are you playing and earning, certain special rewards, kind of like the Divinium and the Gobblegums and stuff like that? Or how's that going to work? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And also, they did, make it clear that this is a brand new universe and it does not connect to any of the past zombies games. So these characters, the maps, everything don't tie in to anything else. So there's that. And then finally, last but not least, we do have a couple of quotes from some of the devs. So number 1 is they said, "We are geeks. we've dissected horror, that dread, that fear of the unknown. That's where you can really get people. So again, as we've been saying for the past couple of months now, this is going to be about horror. It's going to be about scariness. It's going to be about, you know, just a more intense zombies experience than we've ever seen before. So we can definitely expect some crazy moments in this mode. I can't wait. I'm a little bit scared of you know, horror games. Like I get scared pretty easily, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for me, but I'm excited for it. And then finally, last but not least, Michael Condrey said it's going to be the hardest Easter egg hunt that you've ever been on. So holy cow, those are very big words to say. I mean, honestly, part of the reason why I don't play zombies quite as much anymore is just because the Easter eggs got so intense. They were so elaborate, so involved. It's not something you can just pick up and play and understand. It's something you have to put hours and hours of dedication into and work towards, especially when they're new. You know, you can't just pick it up and figure it out. I mean, like, people like Noah sit there for like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and then trying to figure these things out. And for Michael Condrey to say that it's going to be bigger than anything we've seen before, that's absolutely insane. Like, I can't even imagine how complicated this is going to be if that ends up being true. So it's kind of a little bit scary. At the same time, it's kind of a little bit exciting. I plan on putting some more time into zombies this year. So, you know, we've got a fresh start, fresh slate here. If I dedicate myself to it, hopefully I can keep up. But yeah, that sounds really interesting. So there you guys have it. That's everything we learned about zombies today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like on the video if you guys are excited for COD World War II. I mean, every single time I get news about this game, I get more and more excited, and I'm hoping it's gonna live up to the hype. I think it will. I think we're in for a good year of Call of Duty. So I'm gonna catch you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and peace out.